All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the training. Today, my name is Quila Buhler, and I will be doing this training with Barb Verbonich. Today is Saturday, December 16th. We want to announce this now, and we'll also announce it at the end of training, and that is there will not be any training on December 23rd or December 30th. The next training, Saturday training that we have will be January 6th of 2018. And that just completely boggles my mind. These next few weeks we'll be spending a lot of time with our friends and family during the holidays, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit today. I think, I've got Barb on the line, and I think what we want to do maybe is just talk about successes. Barb's going to share her story. Many of you know my story. But we're going to have Barb share her story, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of how building our business during the holidays. We're going to talk about training schedules for next year and promotions, and we just have a really exciting time. And Barb, you're on, right? Were you able to get in?
I sure am.
All right. So one of the ways that we build our business, and that is just moving our business forward. It's always about what have we done and what's going on. And I put in this one, did you sponsor anyone this week? And the next one is any new master affiliates. But I also want to know just any successes that you had. Did you put a new person on the product? Did you have a neat experience running in? And maybe, and Barb, you can help me facilitate this. We'll just kind of talk about what positives happened during the week in your business, if anyone wants to share. So it was like a loaded bullet.
I have something to share, yeah. Our little Relive group here in the Monterey Salinas area met together. We had a great kind of, like Robert's saying, a Christmas get-together. We had breakfast together the other day, and there have been so many good things happening in lives, which is awesome. But we're excited because on January the 20th, we are reinstituting our little morning health forums. And we all met together last week with at a new restaurant here in Prunedale that has a great meeting room. And we're excited to kick off the new year with our first health forum gathering, focusing on our Fit 3 and just all the good things that are going on in Relive. And I'm excited. I know, Quila, we've been privy to the ambassador calls and in talking with Tom and all of the good things that he has coming down the pike for us, which are going to bring our business even more into the new age where our website is more available, more accessible, more friendly. So we're jazzed as a little gathering group here to start kicking off the new year with that first health forum for 2018.
Oh, that's exciting. And I'll share a little bit about what we're doing here in Portland and for our training as well. But that's exciting, Barb. Very fun. Anyone else have anything that they want to share? We've had a couple people that were referred to us and looking at Relive and one in particular for a business side. And I see this thing with Robert there that, like Barb said, the Christmas party. And here's the thing, I've already put our date for next year for a Christmas party because I with everything going on, and of course Jim's mom passed away right before Thanksgiving, so it just kind of things happen, and that does happen. So we're actually going to have on that third weekend in January, on the 20th, we'll have a get together with our group here at our home. So we're excited about that. Well, everyone's kind of shy today, and that's okay. I know that there are lots of things going on, but that's okay. So let's just talk about, I guess what I want to do, I thought I had this one after you guys talked. Just a second. No. Let's talk about, Barb, are you ready to talk about working through the holidays and then I'll do the schedule, or do you want me to do the schedule first?
Well, let's go ahead and work through the holidays. And first of all,
Okay.
I'd like to see if Clara was able to make it on. Clara, you'll have to hit *6. I know she's trying.
Hi.
She and Ruby.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi,
I'm here.
Clara.
The only thing that we're not going to have Ruby with us today, which is not able to get on.
That's okay. She's on the train traveling down to Southern California. And,
wow.
yeah, I'm going to visit her son and then fly over to Florida. So she wasn't sure if she would be in an area where the reception would work or not. But the good news is many of you have heard my story, but not too many of you have been privileged to hear Clara's story. And as you know, Ruby, can you advance this one, Quila? Because I think it gives us the summary there. Well,
that's the promotion. No, I have it on
wait.
Ambassador. I have it showing Barb, Ruby, and Clara working through the holidays.
Okay, hold on just a sec, because there's a fun timeline. I don't know, did you exclude that timeline?
I didn't see it come through, Barb. I guess hold on. I mean, is it in hold on, everybody. See, this is the great thing. Is it in an email that you sent me?
No, it's in the slides that you have. I'm sure it's in there, Quila, just further ahead. Yeah, it is. It's there.
Well, I've got this one. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, we're gonna hold Clara, and we're gonna go forward with the next slide.
Okay. That's the promotion.
Yep, some really good things, and the fact is, we want to be an encouragement to you, Clara and I, to understand there's still time before this year is out to take advantage of this promotion. And hopefully what Clara and I share is going to be a great encouragement to you. That $1,000 fifth distributorship and everyone who earns the trip, that means there's a lot of people who are still able to close out the month of December, get that spending money for their trip to Puerto Vallarta. And so what an awesome opportunity to take advantage of working through these holidays. So as they say, race to the finish line with that promotion. Only the first 4 are currently occupied, and there's a lot coming in for that 5th position. So I just want to encourage folks to understand holiday time is one of the prime times to be sharing the gift we have with Relive. You want to add something to that one, Quila?
Well, I just think, here's the thing. When Jim and I first got started, we made sure that any promotion, anything, at the time when we had MAT schools, which now we have the business leadership trainings, we always made sure that we were going to be at some sort of a new level. You know, we worked our business like a business. Obviously, we're not at that same pace now. Good grief, it's been a quarter of a century later. But, you know, we worked really hard to build that base. And once you build the base, that base it just continues. And that's the great thing about it. I mean, we can always look back at when we worked and really focused on building a business. And, you know, when we started building our business, this is kind of a Quila-ism, but if your life depended upon Relive, would you do things differently? And at that time, our life did depend. I mean, we needed that income desperately. And so we worked it like a business. And the thing is, with Relive, sometimes it really does become more of like a hobby to people. And I always like to ask, is this a business? Is it an interest, or is it a hobby? I mean, an interest is something that you just kind of toe dip in, and then if the going gets a little bit rough, you kind of exit. A hobby is, I have horses. Horses are a hobby. They're very expensive, and yet I enjoy it. It's fun. Or is it a business? And, that's just kind of how it is. And with this promotion, there's still time to do it. You're going to see people who, got involved with Relive maybe in October or November, and that are going to make this promotion. They're going to make it. I mean, they have all these other different ways to make it now. For those who qualified at Master Affiliates before the 2017, and if you finished in the top 10 PGPB for August through December, and if you break one master this month, you're going to earn the trip. I mean, how simple is that? What they're saying is that if you had big, good volumes, any of those months, and they were high, if you promote a master affiliate this month, you'll go on the trip. And then all new master affiliates qualifying since August 2017, and if they finished in the top 5 of this month in PGPV in December, you're going to earn the trip. So, okay, that's it. So there's all these different ways that you can do it, and so it's pretty exciting time to do that. Let's see if I have one more slide on that. I want to talk about conferences, and we can kind of go back to that. But you guys, I just think that sometimes we might look at this and go, oh well, it's out of reach. And if you think that, then that's obviously what's going to happen. But if you have a real desire, there is still 2 solid weeks left in this month, and they're holidays. And this is what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to kind of go back with Barb, Ruby, and Clara, because I remember, 7 or 8 years ago, on December 23rd, Barb had people at her house, and she was doing a shake party. See, we used the thought that, well, nobody's interested. You guys, there are a lot of people that are interested in Relive. Sure, if you're out talking to people right now, and some of them are going to say, well, that's fun, contact me after the first of the year. Great. Then you're going to contact them in a couple weeks. And then if they say, well, I'm still getting organized, contact me in February. Great. You guys, you keep contacting people until they say no. And even then, when someone says, well, I'm not, why don't we just hold off? I'll say, great, I'll put you in my tickler file, and I will contact you in a few months down the road. I don't ask them if I can contact them, because if I ask them, then what they're going to tell me is, if they say no, then I've just shut the door. I'm the one that's running the business. This is my business. I'm not letting other people tell me what to do. And that is exactly what Barb, Ruby, and Clara did. So, Barb, I'm going to go back through, and here we are at this slide working through the holidays. And I think you should start the story, because I don't think a lot of people really realize that in August of the year that all of this occurred, you guys all had called me. And we were I remember specifically, we're on this conference call, and you simply said, you guys were all saying our business isn't working, it's not growing. And I didn't have the answer. What I did is I used the answer that Tom Pennick would give, and that was, I thoroughly agreed, and I told you what Tom Pennick would say. And I want you to take it from there. And don't leave out any detail, because I do think this is important.
Sure, you bet. Okay, so we had all gone off to conference. Now realize Clara sponsored Ruby. Ruby sponsored me. These 2 ladies were total strangers to me in January of 2007. I didn't know them from Adam. I was a school teacher. I had homeschooled my children. I was doing another network marketing business because I needed to supplement my income. I needed an extra $500 a month. This was in 2002 when I first met these 2 women in January. It was an interesting season of time because I was working full-time, and those 2 precious women were so patient with me. They would call pretty much every morning at 8 o'clock as I was ready to leave the house, and they would ask to put me on a call. Well, some mornings I could take it, some mornings I wouldn't, but I was always grateful that they were thinking of me. I was never offended. They were always very polite, and I got product at that meeting where I met them. I was doing my other home business, which was selling women's clothing, and I got the product, didn't really start using it well, but Ruby called me about a month later and said, why don't we get together? You probably need another can of product. And I was embarrassed to say, well, I still have half a can left. But I met with her, got another can of Classic and a can of Energize. And I started using it more faithfully and got great results with a condition called costochondritis, because I had lied about what was going on in my body. I was overworked, overweight, overstressed. I was not having a lot of fun. And I thought, well, hey, I'm 54 years old. That's what happens as you start getting older. And I got relief from that arthritis in my chest cavity and was able to turn my head without hurting, was able to talk and smile and move my arms because my core was no longer inflamed. And I got results with a plantar fasciitis and with other areas of arthritis. My cardio situation, a long history of cardio issues, has gotten under control, and my heart doctor loves these products. So it was a long 6 months before I was interested in really doing anything with this business. Clara and Ruby called in June, and Tommy Moody was coming up to Pleasanton. They invited me, and I somehow persuaded my hesitant husband, who usually sits with arms crossed when things like this happen, to come with me. And my daughter Elizabeth joined me as well at that meeting. And halfway through the presentation, Mark's arms were uncrossed, and he was actually leaning forward. There was so much evidence as to what is happening in the Relive world. And I did not go Master Affiliate that very night, so I could not attend Mat School that next morning. But that month of June, I did go Master Affiliate, and we moved over $30,000 worth of product that month. And it was a joy. I actually charged this product to my husband's credit card without his approval, without his knowing it. So there was a great incentive for me to move it quickly. And it was not that month, forgive me, but 4 months later, after going Master in June of 2002, that we had that volume of 30,000, and we had a working team. And we were excited, Clara and Ruby and I, and we decided from the very beginning that we were going to be a team. And as you know, life happens. We all three, over that next 5 years, advanced to senior director. That was actually in the year of 2007. We all qualified once as senior director. And it was a challenge. It was difficult because there was nothing really going on down here. And Clara and Ruby had gone up to Pleasanton very faithfully to get their training because they had joined Relive 2 years prior to my coming on board. And they were faithful and they were consistent and they did not complain. And there were times when Jim and Quila were able to come down and help us. And it was a challenge. We felt as though we were doing something wrong. We went off to the conference in July of that year, and we were inspired by the many stories that were being told. This is July of 2007, and we decided in September that we would do what Quila challenged us to do, and that was each of us buy a master affiliate order and not sit still until it was gone. We were inspired that fall by attending one of the workshops like we have in our local areas with Jerry Foote, who said, become your own upline, become your own leader. Don't wait for others to lead you, but do what you know you need to do to become the leader you need to be and the leader that other people want to follow. So we decided, yeah, we're here, we're isolated, but hey, we're strong, we have potential. There are 3 of us, and we decided we would go for it. And so it's kind of exciting. By October, all three of us had requalified as senior directors in 2007 with that $2,500 in overrides, and we all three qualified to go to the Disney World trip that November, and it was a blast. My three daughters, my husband and I went. Clara took her niece, I believe Ruby and Bill went. We had an amazing time. Those of you who've been on Relive trips know you're spoiled to death. That's why you want to finish this month out strong so you can get that $1,000 and get on that Puerto Vallarta trip. But Clara, if you'll come in right now and let the folks know from your perspective what you decided to do to step up and build your Relive business in the month of October of 2007.
Yes, Barb. Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to start with how I first found Relive, because to everything there's a beginning, and that was my beginning when I learned about Relive. I think it was 1999. It was around November, and I was very, very sick during that whole year. I didn't know what was happening to me. I kept going to my doctor, and she would always tell me, "No, you're fine. Are you depressed?" I said, "No, I'm not depressed. I feel very bad." And long story short, she never diagnosed me, so I was out there looking for help. I was trying to get healthy, and I remember I joined a couple of companies, nutritional companies, but the products didn't help me. So that was my condition. I was really, really bad. My thyroid issues were, I was tired, sleepy. That year I gained 72 pounds. My weight went up to 220, 215, 220. My size was size 20, and that was my condition. I was a total zombie. I used to be, at that time I was working as an administrative secretary, and I could not function. I'd answer the phone, I didn't understand. I'd go to meetings with my boss, and I couldn't understand my handwriting, so I was not well. And I was looking for help, and I couldn't, I didn't know what to do. So one day, a friend of mine called me. Well, prior to that, I used to listen to Quila's radio station that she had. She had 30-minute radio program, Pure Stories. So I used to listen to them all the time, but I just never called. I think it was because of my health condition. I just never called. But a friend of mine heard the stories and called and signed up with the company and called me and told me, "There's a product for weight loss. Are you interested?" I said, "Yes, I'm interested." And then she told me that it was Relive. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's the story call that I listen to all the time. So I said, yes, I want to buy it. So I went to buy the product. They started me on the basic nutrition. They said, start the basic nutrition first and then go into the health, into the weight program. So I did. My life changed 18 years ago. And I just took the basic nutrition at that time. So since then, fast forward, I did get, well, let me stay on those 2 months. I started taking the product. My health improved so much. That was November and December of 1999. In January, I went to a conference in Reno, Nevada, but because at that time I was already feeling healthy. I knew I needed a business, and I wanted to stay on this product for the rest of my life. So I went to a conference in Reno, Nevada, and I saw the big picture. I saw everything. In fact, I was in tears most of the time I was there at the conference. And so I totally fell in love with this company. When I returned from the conference, I immediately signed up as a master affiliate. And the first person that I called after I signed up was my very best friend from high school, Ruby Ritchie. And she started the product. The next day she called me and she asked me what in the world did I sell her. And it scared me to death because I was brand new. I said, well, why? And she said, because I feel so good. And I I'm on the treadmill and I don't want to get off the treadmill and I want to sign up with the company right now. I says, okay. Well, can you wait till next week to sign up? Okay, fine. So long story short, she did become a master affiliate, and I am here's 2 brand new master affiliates. We put our heads together. We just started talking to people, and then I think about 2 years later, right, Barb? And you did mention that during that time, Ruby and I, we didn't know anything. So Barbara mentioned that we were going to Pleasanton every week. We're traveling to Pleasanton. That's about a 2-hour drive, an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. And we went every week over there to try and learn about really, the business. So anyway, we came back and we started working together. And around that time, we met Barbara. And we had our first meeting at a restaurant, and Barbara was our guest, one of our guests. And you already heard her story. So I just want to say that when we started working with Barbara, and I remember we used to have at least 3 presentations a day. I think on Saturdays, I don't remember, or weekdays also, but on Saturdays, we would have 3 presentations a day, and so was that 2007, Barbara, or 2006? Because
that was 2002 when I charged my master affiliate order to Mark's card, and I needed to move it out. So yes, Clara, you're right. We were serious during the summer when I was off of school. We took about a 2-week period and made sure every bit of that product was gone. And it led to a fabulous start. And 3 months later was when we had that 30,000 month, and we all did quite well that month. But yes,
I remember
we didn't
that year. Yeah. Well, just to finish up my little narration, I retired in September, and by February, we had reached the level of ambassadors, Barbara, myself, and Ruby. So. Yeah, go ahead, my dear. Continue.
Yes, it's so exciting because, yes, Clara and Ruby were present all the time. They didn't judge me. They didn't make me feel bad. But we had a lot of home presentations when I first got started to move out every bit of that product, and it was an exciting thing. There were 3 meetings a day. There was one at 10, one at 2, sometimes one at 4, and one at 7. And it was very much fun. It was very electric to be able to say which of these will work best for you, as we called people. And sometimes they couldn't come. And like Quila says, we didn't accept no as a forever. We just kept them on the list and would try back at another time. But it was a very good experience to also understand that if no one came, we didn't waste our time. We made phone calls. They helped train me, helped me get better knowledgeable as to what Some of Relive is all about, but we never wasted a moment. And you guys, it is so much fun to have that type of electricity, and it doesn't just happen. You have to decide, I'm going to put forth this serious effort because it has paid us all back clear now to this day. But yes, Clara retired in 2007. We all requalified as senior directors, and we all experienced that delightful trip to Disney World. And we started getting some action with that second purchase of master affiliate orders in 2007. We rekindled the joy and the enthusiasm that was present 5 years before. And we worked, as Quila says, all the way through November and December and on into January, not because we were pushing, but because word of mouth, one happy customer to another, kept leading us down this wonderful puppy trail. And it was exciting. We traveled. We did not stay at home and expect people to come to us. We spent a lot of time in Stockton, which is like 3 hours away. We were able to spend the night. there in the home of a woman who had lots of people that she wanted us to share with. There were times that things were not well done. I remember so well going to Lolita's home, and a huge number of people were there. And the Filipino culture is one that is remarkably fun. They delight in having big food fests when they have people together, and it was enormous. And we thought that they knew that they were coming to hear about Relive. Well, Lolita had never told them that. And so she said, well, now it's time for you to do your presentation. And we discovered nobody knew that they were there for the presentation. Well, being gracious and patient and kind, we took those who were interested into another room, and sure enough, there were significant numbers of master affiliates who signed up that day. And so you can turn an awkward and bad situation into something really good. And even if only one person showed up, it would have been worthwhile. It's always worthwhile to tell our story. So we, in January, all three of us qualified as master directors. Ruby's highest income that month was $10,000. Clara's highest month was that month, and it was, I think, what, $8,000, wasn't it, Clara?
It's about $8,000, yes.
Yeah, and so 7 and 8, and mine was $10,000. And we were really excited to see the benefits of the effort we had put forth, being consistent and going where the action was and working as a team. And again, I cannot overstress, if you have people in the organization who are maybe not immediately below or above you, maybe they're sideways, but work together as a team. There's nothing more rewarding. So we all qualified as master directors in January, and Quila very wisely advised. She said, do you want to have to recreate all of this work again, or are you willing to put forth a continued effort and get a second month of qualified master director? And we said, yeah, let's go for it. So we did it. And February 28th, 2008, up to midnight that night, we were on the phone, we were faxing orders, we were entering orders on the internet, and we thought maybe we had done it. And sure enough, in March of 2008, we were over at Sue Bichelle's home near Sacramento, Roseville, and got a call, doing a presentation for her, got a call from Steve Hastings inviting all three of us into the ambassador program, me as an ambassador, Ruby as a bronze, and Clara as a bronze. And the fun thing, Quila, you might like to share this part, but we determined to work one more month, because you were not our immediate upline. And we wanted to make sure that you got full credit for the effort and time that you invested in us. And we put forth a third push, a third month. If you recall, Quila, it was so much fun. You would come down, and we wanted to make sure that credit was given where credit was due, and the company honored Quila as sponsoring Clara and advanced her to Silver Ambassador. So teamwork is what it's all about. What pieces did I miss you want to add?
I was going to say, I'll kind of talk about that. What happened is there was a person that was that had sponsored Clara, and they still consume the product, but they're not active, and they have the title of a master director because they had earned a $4,000 income from everything going on, but they didn't do anything. I mean, they weren't even aware of what was going on. And so, I wasn't that concerned about that. My big concern was I wanted Ruby and Clara and Barb to all, advance. And so, we worked hard every single solitary night in the month of January, every single solitary night in January, and then the last 2 weeks of February. we were on the phone at 9:30 every night, and we would go over, they had it all planned out on who was doing what and, what we thought was going to happen. And every single night, what we had talked about the night before, there was always some hiccup or some way that we had to reroute. And those calls really kept us all, it was exciting. And if somebody had like a bad, maybe things didn't work out, then everybody would be like, well, that's okay. Don't worry, let's look here. And we all worked together. And somehow I think that there's this thought that moving up the ladder just happens. It doesn't just happen. Success in a business just doesn't happen. Sure, there's a person that Clara had sponsored Clara that, yes, they received an income, but the problem is that they never sponsored anybody else. And so, yes, they make an income, but and you hear about that, but that's not how it works. And so, we worked really hard. And so what happened, I remember I received a phone call, and it was in the middle of March, and the call was, look, we want to move you up to silver. And, granted, you would have been if you would have sponsored Clara directly, but we want to move you forward. And so if you can do one more month, we'll move you up to silver. And I'm like, oh, my. So here we were again, 2 weeks later. And I remember I had 2 weeks left in the month. And I think I got the call, and it was like it was at the end of the month. And I got this call, and I think it was like on a Friday. And so if I remember right, I came down the following Monday or Tuesday. And here's the thing. It was spring break. I couldn't even get a flight out of Portland, and I had to fly up out of Seattle. So I remember driving up to Seattle, and then I had to fly back to Seattle because I couldn't even get a flight back in. So I drove up to Seattle, flew down, and I remember when I landed, Clara picked me up, and we went right to appointments, and we did appointments. And here's the thing, and I've always said this, and I know Clara and Barb, you two remember what happened. We all knew exactly what we were doing the night before we moved up to new levels. I can tell you exactly what happened the night that we closed the month out for going Silver Ambassador. We were at Ruby's house sitting around a table, and we were looking at volumes. And at that time, we didn't have a dashboard that we could go in and look and see what was happening. We just kind of went off what we thought. We didn't have what we have now, where I almost think that's kind of a hiccup because so many people spend so many times looking at their volume rather than going out and creating it. But we did that, and I remember we had it on paper, and I almost was having a meltdown because I wasn't sure, if we had made it. I thought we were super close, and we ended up blowing by it. But it was fun. I could tell you what happened the night before we went presidential director, what was going on. I was calculating the numbers and making sure that everything worked. It's called closing the month out. And it's something that a lot of, we just haven't kind of gotten away from that. So here's the whole thing of this. And Barb, maybe you and Clara want to move over to, I'm kind of looking at time because we only have about, what do we have? Oh, we have 20 minutes. I'm thinking about you guys talking about how did you move your business in the holidays? Like how did you get those appointments during the holidays?
Well, I can't say enough, Quila, about not trying. You have to try. Many of the things that we did were people who were repeat customers. We asked them, who do you know? And made appointments with those people. We used referrals a lot. We helped people in the downline, much like what you're saying. You weren't focused on you advancing to silver. You were focused on our advancing to ambassador. We were focused on others and advancing to senior director or director or master affiliate. And if you take the focus off of yourself and look at your team, look at the people in your organization, who are willing to work and say, who do you know? You are so close to this next level of advancement. Let's push for it. Let's do it. And I really hope that we're putting a burr under everyone's bum because there's 2 weeks left in this month of December. And people are wondering, how are they going to pay for their Christmas? How are they going to pay for their whatever bills? And why not give them the gift of a tax deduction for the year of 2017 by starting their own business? Why not give them the gift of health and of a potential income to grow and help them start seeing that right now? So nothing is different in terms of the process. Who do you know? Getting on the phone, checking with your folks who are on the product, checking with your downline, saying, how can I help you? It takes time? Yes. It takes effort? Yes. But is it time and effort well spent? Absolutely. And I hope I didn't lose everyone. There we go.
Sorry, I just started talking and I was on mute. Sorry. I just want to say that if you approach this that nobody's going to want to talk to you during the holidays, then they're not going to. Here's the thing: we started Relive. We went master affiliate on the first Friday of December of 1991, and in 3 weeks we moved that product. So how did we do that? Well, what happened is I just didn't go to people thinking, well, I wonder if they're too busy. Oh, gosh, they're probably this or that. The thing is that I just was feeling great, and everybody was complaining to me about how tired they were and stressed out. And I just simply told them the truth. I said, you know what? I used to feel that way. I'm so glad I don't. And they just said, what do you mean? I said, you need to look at this. You guys, it was December. Nobody looked at, and that's kind of what got me into Relive was that nobody really thought about price or expense or anything like that. I mean, our products at that time were priced in the same ratio, I guess dollar to dollar, inflation to inflation, as what they are now. There wasn't any difference. We didn't approach it as, oh golly, we approached this. I mean, does do restaurants stop doing business in December? No, it's one of their busiest months. Do GNC stop doing business or Costco? No. Go ahead, Barb. Ruby.
It all goes right back to the fact of getting out of our way. We can get in our way so quickly and so easily. It's all about what can you do to help someone else. Think of other people. Put your feet in their shoes and just ask. It never hurts to ask. So get out of your own way and get going.
Right. And I think it's one of those things that if you're looking at this and you're going, well, there's no way that I could make this, and okay, and if you want to believe that, and I mean, then that's fine. But I will tell you, there are people that do incredible things. But you need to look towards the future. And I guess that's what I want to talk a little bit, I guess I'll go back here, is our Saturday trainings. The Saturday trainings are going to change a little bit. We're going to continue to be sharing the compensation plan because if you don't understand that, you can't build a business. But we're also, one of the things I talked to a few of the people that I call my inner circle group, and they just really had a desire to have more than just the basic training slides every Saturday. And so we have different trainers, and we kind of do a schedule, and I've got the schedule right here. And we're going to have different trainers in January, February, and March. This is the Saturday schedule. And we can talk about whatever we want. I might talk about communicating or dealing with objectives or how do you close out an appointment. I mean, if there's certain things that you guys would like to have covered, then either put them in this text box here if you're online, or you can email me at my name, Quila Buhler, @gmail.com. and if there's a subject that you'd like to have covered. And so we have different trainers. I'm going to do June the 6th. Yvette is going to be doing, Vicki will be doing January 13th. And this, because this, we are in Portland, we have our Super Saturday then. Roger Broberg will do the 20th, Ron and Lisa McCain, April Reynolds and Brenda Lauder, February 3rd. I don't have anyone for February 10th yet. If I don't have anyone that's going to do that training that volunteers, then we won't have it that day. So if someone would like to do a training or volunteer, even if you're doing it already, that's fine. Robert and Lauren Laird are doing the 17th. Louise Cole will be doing the 24th. Luann Pecorelli, March 3rd. Barb's going to be doing the 10th of March. Debbie Granz and Juanita Jaqueta, March 17th, and Jennifer Eve, the 24th. And then there is no training on Easter weekend. Easter is April 1st. And I'm just going to tell you that we're not going to do training when there's a holiday that lands on that weekend, because most of us want to be with our family, or we have family coming in, and that's why we do this business. But here's one more thing. It costs us money to do these trainings, and the training, it's about, I want to say, Joyce, for the Monday night trainings that the ambassadors do, those opportunity calls, those aren't free. We all, as ambassadors, those of us that participate, we help pay for that. And so last year, for the Saturday trainings, the Portland organization paid for those trainings because a lot of people pay dues every month. And so I thought, because there's so many of us that come from other areas, what we are proposing is, if you're in an area, for instance, like Barb's area, you've got the Penguins down in California or the Utah group, then it would be $30 for the year for the group. So that's pretty easy. If you divide that by 52 weeks, well, you can tell that's not a lot. It's not even $1 a week for training for your organization. So we're asking $30, and you can send that to me. And for some reason, let me just put this up. I'll just do it right now. I'll put my address up here on the thing. You can make the check out to me, and I'll type this in bigger font. Hold on. All right. So my address is 19925 Sophia Court, Oregon City, Oregon 97045. And so it's just $30 for an area. That's going to help cover the joining expense. It's about $240. We're asking people that individuals that live in an area where you're all, it's just you, just $10. If you can just pitch in, and then our Portland group will pick up the remainder of that. But this is going to be due in about 3 weeks. So if you can get that off to me, and then we'll just apply that, and then we'll make up the rest with the dues. But felt that would be the right thing to do, because a lot of people spend a lot of time preparing these trainings. Does anybody have any questions regarding that? Does anybody not understand the purpose of that or how it works? Yes.
You had listed on there 119, but you said 199. I think.
Oh, it is 19. It's
that.
Thank you, Brenda. It's 19925. Thank you. 19925 Sophia Court, Oregon City 97045. If you are in Portland and paying dues, you don't need to do this. This is just for individuals that are outside of the Portland area. And if you are in Portland and haven't been paying dues, do need you to contribute to this as well. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And thank you, Brenda. I'm so sorry. Thank you for catching that. I appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions? Does this make sense? Do you think that's fair? Hope you do.
I think it's very fair.
Oh, Okay, thank you. Thank you, Robert. Oh, and Robert says he has dogs in his office, so it isn't quiet. We had a great party with about 20 people and quite a few new people, and that is so much fun. We're going to try to go back to having our Super Saturdays once a month, and I'm not going to be there all the time. I know the one it just so happens that we're in Disneyland in January, and the second one I'm down with Robert and Lauren, but it's exciting. Oh, someone's telling us to remember to order your Relive Planner from Sam. Barb, you should talk about that too really quick.
You bet. Yeah, that's me sending that. It's the best way you can believe to honestly track what you're doing and compete with yourself. As you know, I gave you the information on our Monday training call about 2 weeks ago, and I love it. I love the grid, the tracking grid, so don't forget to get it. Thanks, Robert. I'm grateful that you guys like it. Yeah, it's a wonderful tool.
Please put that number up so we can all get it.
It's there. It's 630-645. 1726. I don't
Barb,
remember their.
How much?
They're about $30, and they are just excellent. Tom met with the president of this company on Tuesday, and they're talking about getting it a little more techy and about marketing taking over the updates, so I don't have to do that anymore. And as you know, I've not gotten any compensation for that the last 8 years. It's been totally just something that I believe in, and it helped me advance my business. So it's a wonderful program.
And I want to give some kudos to Barb. First of all, I want to really recognize a couple things. The two women that have just been on this call this morning are incredible leaders. Clara is a huge force in the Hispanic market. She does a lot of things with helping on the calls that they have weekly, daily. She's done different MAT schools when we have them, BLTs. I mean, she really works a lot with Javier Ramirez, and I'm so grateful for her. And Clara just works. I mean, she works this business with a passion. And Barb has always had this incredible ability for creating and filling spots, areas that need tools. She just has a way of figuring out, this needs to be done. And one of the things is that, we all organize ourselves different ways, but she spent a lot of time in developing Sam, the tracker. And she's that one behind it. I mean, she is amazing at what she's done in figuring out how to be accountable to yourself, not to everyone else. And that really is, it should be named Barb, not Sam.
Oh, no.
But
not really. No. By the way, it's fun. I see Diane Himmel's on the phone. She can't quite get through to talk, but she's there in Chicago. She got to witness Tom talking with Mickey at Sam. And Sam, Mickey's job is a customer of Diane's, if I'm not mistaken. So the president of Sam believes in Relive, and it's pretty exciting to see how that has all come down. And we're hoping good things will come. Simple Tool Set is the one that I love the most by far, but grateful for all the tools we have.
I think it's been important, and if you guys are on the line, you can see where Robert and Lauren, who are just burning it up down in the South, they said that it's a great tool, and it's been very instrumental in helping us get our trips and bonuses. You guys, we need to be accountable. And actually, I'll be doing training on January 6th, and I'm going to be talking about your time, like where to place your time, and kind of going back to some old things that we used to do, updating a few grids, if you will, but really tracking what we're doing. Because, if you talk to one person a week, that's 52 people in a year. And, out of that, maybe you might get, let's say 10 or 20%. Well, that's only 5 or 10 people, new people in a year. Okay, well, maybe your business isn't going to grow as much. But if you're talking to 52 people in a month or a person a day, let's say you talk to 30 people in a month, and you times that by 12, that's 360 people in a year. So let's say then you get, 5 or 10%, that'd be 36 people. So you kind of have to look at the numbers. You guys, this is all about what are we doing on a daily basis. And I think I want to leave you that if your organization did what you did today with your business, would it grow? And the answer is probably not. So we need to look at, as you're growing your business, all right, you need to be your own leader. I never looked at what my upline did because they didn't do anything. I knew what I wanted to do. And if you want to build your business, then be accountable to yourself. Don't hold your success or your failures on anyone else but you. And I'm going to reiterate a great book that I love. It's by Brian Tracy, and if you've read it, read it again. It's The Power of Self-Discipline, No Excuses. And he just simply talks about, self-discipline and character. He talks about everything from, how to be self-disciplined and what you get back from it, goals, responsibility, success, excellence, courage, persistence, work, leadership, business, sales, money, time management, problem solving, and on and on. As the new year comes and the next 2 weeks of this year come to an end, don't focus on everything that maybe you did or did not do. Focus on what you did do. Because, we tend to look at all the things we didn't do rather than all of our successes. And what I want to leave you with is focus on that, move that into the new year, and make this next new year of what you want it to be. And don't make it something where you work really hard for maybe a month or even 3 months or maybe 3 weeks. Make it that year that you're going to commit to yourself that this is the year I'm going to do X, Y, or Z. Maybe this is the year I'm going to lose 10 pounds, or this is the year I want to increase my business by $500 a month or $5,000 a month. But whatever it is, just know that it all goes back to you. And there was a saying that I love, and I need to find, I love, Ralph Waldo Emerson made the comment. It said, make the most of yourself, or that is all there is of you. Okay? So we're the ones that are going to have to do this, not anybody else. And let's not focus on what our organization is or isn't doing. Let's focus on what we can do. And Barb or Claire, do you have anything else you want to add?
I want to say Diane is wanting to know the access to the replay. Use this call. Use the YouTube link, you guys. Really, I love what.
I don't know what it is. I think that,
no. Becky will send it out in just a few minutes, and we'll then have it. Yeah, and we'll make sure we forward it to you, Diane. But it's wonderful to know you are the boss. Don't wait for somebody to be your leader. Become that leader that people need and are looking for, and put your feet in other shoes and think about how can I help them? What can I do to help them? Don't think about yourself. I love that that Emerson quote.
Ralph Waldo Emerson, I do too. Oh, really quick, let's make sure everybody puts these dates on for conference, the 20th and 21st in Anaheim. It starts at Friday at 7, and then Saturday it ends at 4:30. Go ahead and get registered. And I know that we've got on the East Coast, we've got October 12th and 13th in Orlando, Florida. I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, and enjoy these next 2 weeks. Make them what they need to be, and for you to be happy with how you end that year out. And we'll talk with everybody. And I know that we'll be doing stuff with our group on Monday night on training, so we'll talk to you then. All right, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful next 2 weeks. Barb and Ruby, it has been a pleasure. This is going to be one of the best calls that we archived for a long time. And so appreciate you both very much.
Thanks, Clara. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.